Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to video number 4 of the Granny Hexagon blanket dress. Now, today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to finish off the sleeve section and do the finishing details around the neck and of course around the base. So it's going to be a little bit of a long video. I will try and cut it down as much as possible just to give you the facts. Right. Now, if you haven't had a chance to start this yet, or this is the first time you've come across the channel or this set of videos, the link to video number 1 will be in the I button, along with a link to Ravelry where there is a written pattern that accompanies this video set. So if you fancy purchasing that, it's available for you. But for everybody else, grab your projects, grab your yarn. It's time to get going. It's going to be a long one, but it's going to be worth it. Now it's time for me to talk through how I rounded off my shoulders so that they look nice and neat and not all spiky like this one. So for this I carried on using my 4mm hook. I added a slip knot onto my hook, and then I'm just about to match this up with my other side, so just give me a moment. Right, so once you've got your placement, we are going to put a standing double crochet into our first chain 1 spot, pop another one next door. Now we're going to be using the same stitches as last time, so it's a case of single crochet, slip stitch, jump over and pop 2 in the next. Slip stitch and jump over, 2 in the next. Okay, so our next section we need to take notice of, because this is a little different. We're going to chain 1. Okay, so now we're going to work onto this corner, and there's a little cheeky trick on this one. It's a double crochet 2 together. So to do that, we're going to hook over and do a half double crochet up to the first pull through. Going to jump over to the next one, half double crochet, first pull through and stop, and then hook over and go through all 3 loops, and then chain 1. And then we go back to our normal 2 double crochets in each chain 1 until you get to the next cornered section, where we will repeat this again. Okay, so up on this next join section we're going to repeat what we've done previously, which is a double crochet 2 together. So you've got your first one there that you've done halfway through, you've stopped, you've hooked over, jump in, hook over, pull through for the second, so that's 3 loops on the hook, hook over and pull through all 3, then chain 1. That's a case of turning your work slightly, and we're going to keep going until we reach this chain space before the corner. Once you get to there, stop and revert back to the video. Right, so now it's time to round off our corner. To start off with, we are going to place 2 half double crochets in the chain 1 spot. Then chain 1. We're going to jump over to our chain 2 spot where we're going to place 2 single crochets. Chain 1. And then into our next chain 1 spot we're going to place 2 half double crochets. And chain 1. And that's the corner section complete. So now we're going to carry on going down and around until we meet up with our first double crochet, and we're going to keep doing the double crochet 2 together in all of these joined sections all the way around, so you've got another 2 to go. I'm going to fast forward this section and I will meet you back for round number 2 in a few minutes. Okay, so now we've come up to the join. Make sure you do that slip stitch before joining. Then we're going to find the top of the first double crochet and slip stitch into that. We're going to do a cheeky cheat here, so it's a good idea that you have this on the underside of your sleeve, sort of the bottom seam. We're going to cheekily chain 3 and place another double crochet into this same spot. It saves you turning your work and it means then that all your stitches will sit the same way. We're going to skip straight over and put 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 spot and chain 1. Now we're going to keep doing this sequence until you get up to where you placed that half a double crochet. Do not work the stitch before it. Okay, so just keep working round until you get to the stitch before your half double crochet on the previous round, and then I'll talk you through the adaptations for this one. Sorry, my dress is taking over this this table. It's really quite awkward. Right, fast forward time. Okay, so I went a little bit far and I directed you to go a little bit far. Hopefully you read the warning on screen. Sorry about that, everybody. So we are actually looking at the second hole prior to our half double crochet. Right, so in this one we're going to place 2 half double crochets followed by a chain 1. Stupid splitty yarn. There we go. There's the first half double crochet, half double crochet 2 times in the next, followed by a chain 1. And now we're going to a single crochet. You're going to single crochet in the gap between the 2 stitches. Okay, and then the next one. In total you need to do 6 single crochets. So that's 2, 3 and 4 over the top of the last 2, 1 around, 5 and then 1 into the stitch, 6, then chain 1. So it should look something like that. Then we're going to skip over into this gap here and we're going to place in 2 half double crochets and a chain 1. Let's try that again. That's the first half double crochet. There's hopefully the second. Oh, this has got splitty on me. There we go. And a chain 1. And then into the next it's 2 half double crochets. And a chain 1. Okay, so in total, working along the top, it will be a double crochet, sorry, half double crochet, a chain 1, 2 half double crochets, chain 1, 6 single crochets, chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, a chain 1, and then just work all the way down and around until you meet up with your first stitch in this round where you slip stitch on. So again, it is 2 double crochets and a chain 1 in each of the gaps, in the chain 1 gaps from the row before. So again, I'll work this under the camera as best I can and speed it up so it makes it look like I'm turbo fast. Okay, when you get to this last stitch, we're not going to work into there, we are literally going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. Yes, the hole's a little wider than the rest, but as it's sitting under the arm, it will not be noticeable. Then we're going to slip stitch into the next double crochet, and then a slip stitch into the chain. Now for me, I like to pick up the 2 loops from the stitch and leave the other one behind underneath, and then a slip stitch into the next 2 double crochets, and then again slip stitch into the chain, and I'm going to carry on doing that all of the way around. Okay, so that's a slip stitch into the chain stitch, and then a slip stitch into the top of each of the double crochets. Now by doing this, it gives you a ribbed effect and a bit more stability on the sleeve, and it also makes it look nice and finished, in my opinion. This is a step that you don't have to do. What you could do is just put a round of single crochet in, or you could do the round of single crochet followed by a round of crab stitch. That will also finish off this really nicely, but this is the method that I've chosen to use for this one. May try those other ones on another top at a later point. Okay, I will meet you when you get back to the start. Okay, so I'm back with you at the end of this round. So now it's a case of pulling up your yarn, and at this point I like to do what's called an invisible join. I may have issues as this needle is extremely small and my fingers are extremely sticky because my plaster's coming off of my hook again. Sorry, for any of you that don't know, I wear out these crochet hooks very quickly, and because of that they get quite sticky. So I put plasters around them to give me a bit of extra padding and to stop this coloured stuff coming off on my crochet work. The only problem is I wear through the stickers as well, like through the plasters and everything else. I have got some brand new hooks, but this was the one that I was using in Australia because I always take my tatty ones with me. And that's why I'm still using it. Right, but anyway, let's get back to this. Now, our yarn is on our hook. It's now time for the invisible join. So what I do is I will skip over the first V that you've created when you were doing your slip stitches. And I go underneath both sections of the V and pull my yarn through. Okay, and then pop my yarn back into the previous slip stitch. Okay, so the same place your yarn came out, you're going to go back in and point your needle towards the back of your work. At this point, adjust your yarn so that the stitch looks the same size as the rest, or as close to it as you can get. Then turn your yarn, your work over and sew in your end. Now I'm not going to show you how I sew in mine because we all sew them differently. So just know you do the clothes like that and then you sew in your end. Right, so that is the end of sleeve number 1. If you turn your work round and now do exactly the same on sleeve number 2, then pause, either replay that section of the video or pause it about now because we're about to move on to the neck section. Okay, so now we are back to do our collar. Now I want to ideally keep this as wide as possible, but we'll have to wait and see how it turns out because I haven't attempted this section like I'd done with the sleeves. But what I'm going to do is run the same style of stitch work I've done on my sleeves, and I'm going to do the same here. So let's start off by giving myself a bit more to sew in than that. There we go. And we're going to do a standing standing double crochet. Just pick on anywhere you feel like, and then place another double next to it and a chain 1. We're going to do that until we reach one of our hexagon joins. On the hexagon join, it's a double crochet, no chain, and then we're going to jump over to the other side and place our second into the corner. Oh cripes, I've started on black again, haven't I? What I will do is stick something white behind it, fingers crossed you can then see. Right, so we have our 2 double crochets, a chain 1, 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and then over our cornered join we place a double crochet in the first placement, another double crochet in the second placement and then chain 1. Now we're going to work up to our corner, sorry, not our corner, but our point of our sleeve by doing our 2 double crochets, get out of the way paper, and our chain 1 stitch pattern. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is, instead of doing the start of the decrease from this stitch, I'm going to start it the stitch before by placing 2 half double crochets and a chain 1. On the next, it's 2 half double crochets and a chain 1. And then on the corner point, it's 2 single crochets. And then we're going to mirror that on this side. So we do our chain 1, jump over and do 2 half doubles and chain 1, 2 half doubles in the next, chain 1, and then work back down to our corner, to our join. Right, so we are now at our join section again. So that is a double crochet into that first chain and then a double crochet into the next on the next hexagon, chain 1, and jump straight over and carry on working down. Reaching our next hexagon join, double crochet times 1 into each of the corner joins, then chain 1 and move on. Right, so we're now coming up onto our second peak. So we're going to repeat the same things that we did on the other shoulder by doing 2 half double crochets and a chain 1 in the next 2 spots. Then 2 singles in the peak, chain 1 and 2 half doubles in the next 2 spots, making sure we add that chain 1 of course. And then we go back to working over this massive project all the way down until we reach our starting point. Right, so now we are coming up on that last stitch, so you're going to pop your hook in and slip stitch to close. Then we're going to chain up 2, and from this point on we're doing half double crochets. So you're going to pop 2 half double crochets in that first stitch, chain 1, hop over and do 2 half double crochets in the next. Now we're just going to keep going with these half double crochets until we get close to our peak on the shoulder. Once we get there, or close to it I should say, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Okay, so a chunk of my filming has become corrupt. Don't panic, I've managed to find the shoulder section, but I do say let's show you this again. Basically, I've shown you the second shoulder instead of the first, but don't panic, the principles apply to both sides. They need to, don't they? They got to match. Okay, now for the corner section again. We are doing 2 single crochets in the next available gap. Then we are single crocheting across the top for a count of 5. So that's making sure that you get 1 single crochet into each stitch. That first one can sometimes be hidden. And 5, and then single crochet, 2 single crochets in the next gap. Chain 1, half double crochet in the next, and all future chain 1 spaces until you get to the second shoulder, and then repeat this process. Right, so now we are up to the join section. So all we're going to do is slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 and try and pick up both loops if you can. And then we're going to slip stitch closed. Now, depending on what method you have used for your shoulders, I would copy that method for the third row. For myself, I am going to be slip stitching around for this third round. It's just a case of placing a slip stitch into all of the top of the stitches and of course into the top of that chain. Right, this is fiddly for me. This is very awkward for me. So I'm going to do this off camera. I will meet you in a few moments once you've finished this step, and we'll have a little bit of a chat. Okay, so that is the shoulders and the neck section done. Now to move on to the bottom section, and as I've said previously in the video, I've lost a chunk of video, so I'm just going to have to talk you through the bottom section, but I really don't see it being too much of an issue because it's all pretty much the similar stitches that we've previously used. Okay, so to create the bottom section, which will look like this, what you're going to do is run a round of half double crochet, okay, all the way around the base of your dress. Now I've also finished this off with the slip stitch, but I have worn this and I found that my stride was shortened. I was walking like a penguin. So I would suggest that you do a second round of single crochet all the way around and leave it at that. Don't bother adding the slip stitch end unless you want to walk like a penguin, or of course you're not planning to wear this out of the house, you're just planning to wear it around the house to keep you warm during winter months. Yeah, so that is why mine, oh, I still haven't tied in the ends luckily because I'm going to strip them back, but that is why mine looks like this. It's given a beautiful detail, the slip stitch, but as I said, it doesn't give a lot of elasticity and when it comes to walking around the house. Another end that you could do is to actually not bother doing the half hexagons and just finish it off by doing a similar joins to the way, similar end to the way that we've done the shoulders and the neck, and just go up and down with half doubles and then another round of singles, and then you could slip stitch it because that will give you a lot more room for movement in between. Let's hold it that way around. In between the rounds, so basically, and don't bother making that bit. If you choose not to make those bits, I really hope you watch this video to the end, because yeah, I'll have to put a note on the very first video. I didn't even think of that. Brain cell moment, kaboom, it's not working. Well, it is now, but yeah, that is option number 2. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you enjoy your almighty massive blanket dress. I would have put it on, but they've now told me today is summertime. The first day of summer. Yeah, it's 14 degrees, but it's still too hot for me. That's why I've only got a little tank on. And once I finish recording here, I'll be taking this off and just walking around in just the top, the normal top that's underneath, because it's too hot for me. What is it? They're saying it's 14 degrees. It's too hot. I am bat crazy. Right. Okay, so as I said, that is it for me for today. Please, please, please send me photographs of your finished dress either to my email, which is in the description box down below, or the Facebook group that is in the description box down below, or even link me over on Ravelry or Insta. I don't use Insta that much, but when it pops up, I get so happy. Right, that is it for me for today. I will see you all really, really soon. So please remember, stay chilled, stay happy, and keep crafting. Goodbye, everybody.